right, so get ready because today we're diving headfirst into the world of Bitcoin. But here's the twist. We're not talking about the money itself. No, we're going deeper. We're tackling the enigma that is its creator, the mysterious Satoshi Nakamoto.
Yeah, it's pretty wild, right? I mean, after all these years, theories upon theories, even documentaries claiming to have solved it, the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto is still a complete mystery.
It's like a real-life digital whodunit. And speaking of documentaries, did you catch that recent one from HBO, Money Electric? They actually threw a new name into the ring, Peter Todd.
Oh, yeah, I saw that. And let me tell you, they make a pretty bold claim. They're suggesting that Peter Todd, a prominent Bitcoin programmer, is actually Satoshi Nakamoto.
Hold on, seriously. Yeah. Just because he was active in the Bitcoin community early on.
Well, that and they highlight what they believe was a slip-up where he used an account connected to his real name.
That seems like a bit of a leap, doesn't it? Like just because he was involved early on and maybe used his real name once, that automatically makes him Satoshi.
Yeah, the Bitcoin community definitely wasn't buying it. And even Samson Mow, a big name in the Bitcoin world, publicly advised Todd to maybe, stop joking about being Satoshi.
Oh, wow. So it sounds like the documentary makers might have jumped the gun a little bit. Did Todd ever actually claim to be Satoshi?
Oh no, he completely denied it. And honestly, think about it. Todd would have been super young, barely out of his teens, when Bitcoin was created. It's not impossible, but it does make you wonder if he had the experience to pull off something that revolutionary at that age.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Creating Bitcoin, it takes a unique kind of genius. So, okay, maybe the HBO documentary didn't crack the case, but it definitely brings up a big question. If not Peter Todd, then who?
Right. Well, to get to the bottom of that, we need to go back to the very beginning, back to Satoshi's early days in the Bitcoin world. Like, think 2008, the peak of the global financial crisis.
Oh yeah, everyone was panicking. Banks were collapsing left and right. It was chaos. And then seemingly out of thin air, this white paper appears online describing a brand new type of currency, Bitcoin. No central authority, no government control, just pure code.
And then a few months later, in January 2009, Satoshi created the Genesis block, the very first block on the Bitcoin blockchain. It's like the big bang of Bitcoin.
Okay, so break it down for me. What's so special about this Genesis block?
Well, I mean, aside from being the foundation of the whole system, Satoshi embedded a headline from the Times right into the code.
Wait, really? What did it say?
It said, "Chancellor on brink of second bailout for banks." It's like a timestamp, proving when the block was created, but also a pretty powerful statement about Bitcoin's purpose, don't you think?
Wow, I never knew that. So basically, Satoshi was saying, hey, look at this mess the traditional financial system is in. Check out this alternative. That's pretty brilliant.
For sure. It really shows their foresight,
Yeah.
their deep understanding of the problems with centralized financial systems.
Yeah. And for a while, Satoshi was really active online. They were constantly fine-tuning the code, having these in-depth discussions about Bitcoin's potential. They were like the conductor of this whole new financial orchestra.
Absolutely. But then, get this, in 2011, Satoshi just vanished, announced their retirement from the project, and said they were moving on.
Wait, seriously? They just walked away,
Mm.
leaving behind a revolutionary technology and, wait for it, 1 million Bitcoins.
It's crazy, right? Imagine that, creating something that would change the world and then just stepping back, letting it all go. That level of detachment, of commitment to decentralization, it's practically unheard of.
It really makes you wonder what was going through their head. Like, were they making a statement,
Yeah,
saying, this isn't about me, it's about the idea, the potential of Bitcoin?
it's possible. But whatever the reason, once Satoshi was gone, the hunt for their identity really took off.
Of course, everyone wanted to know who this genius was, so who were the main suspects?
Oh, there were a lot of names thrown around, like Hal Finney, an early Bitcoin developer. He was actually the first person to receive a Bitcoin transaction from Satoshi.
Right, right. What about Len Sassaman? Wasn't he a big deal in the cypherpunk movement?
Yeah, a brilliant programmer and cryptographer. Sadly, he passed away in 2011. And then there was that whole thing with Dorian Satoshi Nakamoto, the physicist who was misidentified by Newsweek.
Oh yeah, poor guy. He was hounded by the media, constantly having to deny it. That really shows the dark side of this whole obsession with unmasking Satoshi.
It does. And then you have Nick Szabo, the guy behind BitGold, which is considered a precursor to Bitcoin.
And what about Adam Backer, right? The British cryptographer who created Hashcash. And even Gavin Andresen, one of the core developers that Satoshi supposedly handed the project over to before disappearing.
Yeah, they were all considered potential Satoshis, but every single one of them denied it, except for one.
Ah, yes. Craig Wright. Now, that's a whole other story.
Oh, for sure. He's been incredibly vocal, claiming to be Satoshi, even taking legal action against anyone who challenged him.
Yeah, his tactics have definitely raised some eyebrows.
Right.
It seemed like he was trying to control the narrative, which kind of goes against the whole spirit of Bitcoin.
Yeah, I'd say so. And in the end, a court ruled that he hadn't provided enough evidence to back up his claims. Officially, he is not Satoshi Nakamoto.
So we've got this list of brilliant minds, all connected to cryptography and digital currencies, but none of them are Satoshi. Where do we even go from there?
Well, then you get into the conspiracy theories. Because what's a good mystery without a little wild speculation?
Oh yeah, gotta love a good conspiracy theory. Lay it on me. What are we talking? Aliens? Time travelers?
Uh-huh. Not quite, but one of the more out there theories links Satoshi to intelligence agencies like, the NSA or the CIA.
You mean like Bitcoin was actually a secret government project all along?
Exactly. The idea is that they created Bitcoin to, I don't know, replace cash and maybe even monitor people's transactions.
I can see how that would appeal to people's, fears about government surveillance. But does it really hold up?
Not really. Think about it. Why would an intelligence agency create a decentralized system, something they can't control?
And the code's open source. Anyone can look at it. Why wouldn't they keep it secret?
Yeah, it doesn't make a lot of sense. They probably go for something they could manage directly. So if it's not a lone genius, a secret government project, or Peter Todd, then who or what is Satoshi?
Right. It's like we've gone down every rabbit hole
Yeah.
and still no closer to the truth. How do we even make sense of this mystery, especially with Bitcoin being so decentralized?
Well, there's this saying in the Bitcoin community. They say, we are all Satoshi except for Craig Wright.
Huh. Love it. Mic drop moment right there. But okay, seriously, what does that even mean?
It gets at the heart of Bitcoin. It's not about one person, it's about a collective. All the developers, the miners, everyone who believes in decentralization, they're all part of the Satoshi story.
Yeah, it's like Satoshi got the ball rolling and then stepped back, let the community take over. So maybe it's not about who they are, but the movement they started, this idea that, hey, we can create a better financial system together without needing banks or governments.
Yeah, exactly. And that actually leads to a really interesting question. Does it even matter who Satoshi Nakamoto is? I mean, think about it. We've seen Bitcoin's impact on the world. It exists regardless of who created it.
Yeah, that's true. It's like we're so focused on solving the mystery, but maybe the answer doesn't change anything.
Right. Some people think uncovering Satoshi's identity would be massive, a historical event. Imagine the creator of this revolutionary technology finally revealed.
I can see it now. The interviews, the books, the documentaries, everyone would want a piece of the Satoshi story.
They argue it could give us valuable insights into, the origins of Bitcoin and maybe even help us understand its future.
But there's the other side of the coin, right? A lot of people believe Satoshi's anonymity is crucial to Bitcoin's success.
That's a really interesting take. How so?
Well, think about it. A decentralized system, it thrives on not having a central authority figure. By staying anonymous, Satoshi ensured Bitcoin wouldn't be tied to any one person, any one ideology, any one country.
Right. It became global, a people's currency, free from the control of institutions. I see what you mean. It makes it more resilient, less susceptible to manipulation.
And there's also the issue of safety. If we knew who Satoshi was, they'd become a target. Hackers, governments, anyone looking to, control Bitcoin.
Absolutely. The pressure would be insane. Imagine someone trying to force them to change the code or even hand over their private keys. It could be disastrous for the whole Bitcoin ecosystem.
So keeping Satoshi's identity a secret, it's a form of protection, both for them and for Bitcoin itself.
It is. And let's be real, the mystery adds to the allure of Bitcoin. It's like a puzzle everyone wants to solve, a riddle that keeps people engaged.
It definitely adds to the intrigue.
Oh.
And who doesn't love a good mystery, right?
Yeah.
It makes us curious, makes us think outside the box.
It does. But there's also a deeper message here. Satoshi's anonymity, it highlights the importance of privacy, of autonomy in this digital age.
Especially in a world where everything we do is tracked and our data is constantly collected and analyzed.
Satoshi choosing to remain anonymous, it's a powerful statement. Like they're saying, we should have control over our identities, over our data.
And that we don't need permission to create something new and innovative.
So the world may never know the true identity of Satoshi Nakamoto, but their impact is undeniable.
They give us Bitcoin,
Hmm.
This technology that has the potential to revolutionize finance, empower individuals, completely reshape the global economy.
And maybe that's more important than a name.
It's like that saying, it's not about the destination, it's about the journey. And Bitcoin's journey, it's far from over.
The mystery of Satoshi Nakamoto may never be solved, but the quest to understand it drives innovation, inspires new generations.
And who knows, maybe one day someone will crack the code. Or maybe the beauty lies in the fact that we never will. But this whole thing, it makes you think about Satoshi's motivations. Why did they even create Bitcoin in the first place?
Yeah, that's the million Bitcoin question. Was it just a technological experiment? A political statement?
Yeah.
Or something more? Like a desire to create a financial system free from the control of governments and banks?
I mean, the timing, right in the middle of the 2008 financial crisis.
Yeah.
It definitely suggests they were concerned about the global economy.
For sure. And remember that message in the Genesis block about the bank bailouts? It kind of hints at a, skepticism of the traditional financial system.
It's like they were saying, the old ways are failing, we need something new.
Some people think Satoshi was driven by libertarian ideals, this idea of empowering individuals, reducing the power of the state.
Yeah, it fits with that whole cypherpunk philosophy that was popular in Bitcoin's early days. Privacy, cryptography, freedom in the digital world.
Others believe Satoshi might have been influenced by the Austrian School of Economics, all about sound money, free markets, limited government.
That would explain a lot about Bitcoin. The fixed supply, the resistance to inflation, the decentralized nature. It's like they took those principles and coded them into a new form of money.
Yeah, but of course, without knowing who Satoshi is, it's all speculation.
But isn't that part of what makes Bitcoin so fascinating? It's open to interpretation. It can be used in so many different ways, depending on your own values.
It's a technology that goes beyond ideology, a blank canvas where people can project their own hopes and dreams.
And that in itself is a testament to Satoshi Nakamoto.
Absolutely. They created something truly unique, a technology that has the power to challenge everything, to change the world as we know it.
And as we continue to explore this Satoshi mystery, it's important to remember, the real power of Bitcoin isn't about who created it. It's about the ideas it represents.
Decentralization, transparency, individual empowerment. These ideas have the power to reshape the world.
Bitcoin is a perfect example of what happens when people unite around a shared vision, even without knowing who started it all. It really makes you think about that HBO documentary and, them focusing on Peter Todd.
Oh, totally. Like, even though their claim about him being Satoshi might be a stretch, it brings up some interesting questions like, what would happen if Satoshi's identity was actually revealed?
Oh man, can you imagine? The media frenzy, all the attention.
It would be crazy, and not necessarily in a good way.
Yeah, all the public scrutiny, the possibility of harassment, even threats.
Exactly. It'd be completely overwhelming, especially for someone who's chosen to stay anonymous for so long.
And it's not just about one person's privacy, right?
Right.
It could have a huge impact on Bitcoin itself.
Oh, absolutely. Think about it. If Satoshi were suddenly thrust into the spotlight, they'd become a target for all kinds of people with agendas.
Governments, corporations, who knows what else. It'd be chaos.
It could really undermine the whole foundation of decentralization that Bitcoin is built on.
That's why so many people in the Bitcoin community think the mystery is actually a good thing.
Yeah, it's like a shield, protecting both Satoshi and the technology.
It allows Bitcoin to evolve organically, guided by the community, not the whims of one person.
Exactly. So as we wrap up our deep dive into the world of Satoshi Nakamoto, I think the big takeaway is this. The power of Bitcoin isn't about who created it. It's about what it represents.
Decentralization, transparency, individual empowerment, those are the ideas that have the potential to really change things.
Bitcoin shows what we can achieve when we work together towards a common goal, even if we don't know who started it all.
It's a legacy of innovation, of disruption, of belief in a better future. And on that note, dear listeners, we leave you with this. What role will you play in shaping the future of Bitcoin and the decentralized world it represents?
The answer, as always, is in your hands.